Let's talk money.
Welcome back. You're with us on Let's Talk Money, and this is the first episode of the new financial year, which is why we're starting from the beginning, which is setting in motion a very clear, very well thought out financial plan. So we've helped Jaya with some of her goals and her ambitions in life. We have now Ayush Ray joining us. Ayush, welcome to the show. Tell us, how can we help you? What's your goal?
As my financial goal is to create a corpus of close to 10 CR in the next 5 years. Currently, my existing corpus would be in the range of 2.5 CR. So the remaining 7.5 in the next 5 years.
Well, that's really precise, huh? You want 10 CR in 5 years. You've reached 2.5 crores, and you want to cover the rest of the distance. All right. Some more inputs will help us. What about your monthly income?
So the monthly income is in the range of 4 lakhs per month.
Lakhs per month. All right. And your monthly expenses?
Currently, I try and make it a habit of investing 2 lakhs per month. And hopefully I would be able to increase that amount by cutting down some expenses. But that's the rough estimate.
Okay. So you earn 4 lakhs a month. You manage to invest half of that, which is also great. So, you know, kudos to you once again. Let's ask the experts. So he's got a very precise goal, 10 crores in the next 5 years. He's already reached 2.5 crores. Now, is it even if he's all in equities, is it possible?
So first of all, Surabhi, both the viewers are utopian investors. I think if everybody invests more than 50% of their income into investments, it will be a great place for our markets, okay? And for them individually to achieve their goals. So now on a realistic side, I think, again, congratulations to Ayush that I think he started early. Because already, if he's made a corpus of approximately what he mentioned about 2.5 crore, that's pretty sizable. The only thing what he, I think, needs to understand is that the target now, the journey forward, he needs to be a little bit more realistic because he's still wanting to get another 7.5 CR in the next 5 years.
Investing and 2 lakh rupees every month.
Per month. And even if we do a normal conservative calculation at 10% or 12% on a CAGR, he needs to do a very sizable, I think, SIP of almost, if I'm not mistaken, a very large sum, which is more than his salary itself. So I think what he could ideally do is stretch his retirement or this corpus time horizon and go with a step-up type of a thing where he could reduce his expenses like what he said, if that's in his bandwidth, and try to achieve that corpus. But here he needs to be realistic because he's done the journey presently very, very efficiently.
I just want to highlight this table that we have on the screen and what it illustrates. It's a really great one that Prableen shared with us. You know, we're taking the example of someone who's doing a 10,000 rupees SIP, and let's say they want to reach their target retirement corpus by age 55. The earlier you start, the better it is. The person who started at age 25 gets to a corpus of 3.5 crores. Someone who started at 35, 1 crore. 40 years, you're only at 50 lakhs. If you start later than that, well, then, you know, it's 23 lakhs, which is what? Not even peanuts when we're talking about retirement security. Prableen, anything to add to Ayush's query?
I think, Kalpesh has covered it. So amazing the way he's, but I think this table, Surabhi, which you shared in the example of Ayush, I think what we see is that compounding actually happens in a longish time period. So if you can allow a little more time for your money to work for you, I think it can be so much better. Because this example, which you're flashing on the screen at 45, for example, if when somebody is starting and we see just about 23 lakhs is created. This 20-year difference, we often have this tendency of overestimating our earning capacity. So even if we are doing 4 times at 45 of what we were doing at 25, we will only be at 93 lakhs. If you're doing 8 times of what we're doing at 25, we'll still be at half of what we could have achieved by starting at 25. So we have to do 16 times of what we were doing at 25, Surabhi, when we start at 45 to be able to reach the same corpus. So I think Ayush has done a great job. And if the time can be just stretched a bit for him, I think the goal achievement can be so much easier.
You know, whether it's wealth creation or whether it is weight loss, both become more difficult with passing age. It's better to start early, right? I think that's the rule that comes to mind. Absolutely. Ayush, hopefully that kind of helps you out. Now, I just want to end with some basic brass tacks rules that one must keep in mind. And probably let's talk about loans. we spend a lot of time talking about our investments. Perhaps not enough time is spent talking about loans. And I think one question that always confuses people is whether I should invest, whether I should, redeem a mutual fund and then, pay for a short-term goal, or whether I should take a personal loan. What's your preference here?
So I think dependence on debt is really rising, Surabhi, and that is one of the worries, I think, especially the today's generation. So we pick anybody, any example, I think, of course, a home loan is a productive loan. An education loan is a productive loan, but we are increasingly seeing personal loans, vehicle loans, and for discretionary spending, that bucket is really rising. So I think it's important to understand that if you're taking a loan, it should be ideally for productive reasons, which is your home and your education. Otherwise, one should try and trim it. And if you take an example, let's say, travel, because we've been talking about it all along the show. So I think if somebody wants to travel abroad and requires about 3.6 lakhs, it can be done by saving 20,000 a month. But you need that 18-month period to be able to achieve that 3.6 lakhs. And if somebody is really in a rush and says that, okay, let me just take a personal loan and go on my trip. So a personal loan costing him 14% will result in him or her paying an EMI of almost 12,300 for the next 3 years, wherein the interest amount, the extra that they'll end up paying is roughly 83,000. And if you're doing your own saving and going on the trip, Surabhi, that amount is free for you to save and invest later. And if you're doing this, taking this loan, not only are you paying this interest amount, but you can't channelize that amount because you're now paying an EMI towards any savings. So it is so important to keep your debt under check. So check your debt to income ratio, put all your EMIs together, calculate how much it is, and it shouldn't be more than roughly 30 to 35% of your take home. That is really important. And there are different ways of reducing your debt, either by following, the highest interest amount first, or maybe the smallest loans. But it's really, really important to clear out that bucket if you do have more than the home loan and education loan. So unproductive loans need to be cleared out first.
Okay, all right. That's very good advice, very well taken. Kalpesh, finally, to now come to final thoughts. You gave us the key principles of a financial plan, on which a financial plan will rest. What about the important steps or the rules, to follow through on that plan? Whether it's your expenses, whether it's that emergency corpus, whether it's stepping up your investments, what are some of the other rules that one must try to follow at least?
So a person should introspect first. And as I said, nothing more important than a cash flow. So in that first, just, create 3 buckets of needs, wants, and lifestyle. I think once a person, hand on heart does that, he will automatically be disciplined. And like Prableen gave the percentage, that even if you have a liability or you want to repay a loan or something, it should not be, according to me, more than 25%. Sure. Because then it starts eating into your lifestyle, your utilities, and even your savings and investment thing. Yeah. Second thing is, be very, very careful about the insurance part. Because that is one aspect in India where I have seen people are bleeding through their nose, yet they pay premiums in the wrong policies. Just a simple fundamental rule: insurance is for protection and investment is for growth. Please do not club both the other, each other, Keep it separate. Third thing is that investments which you make should be in products which are liquid, which are transparent, which you understand. I think, trying to be a part of the FOMO or the fad or the latest thing which gives you high returns in quick time, I think they fall flat and people have got stuck at the wrong end of the tunnel many a times. Sure. So they might be making money, but they've never created wealth. And that is, I think, the fulcrum of the whole plan, that we want to create wealth. And wealth is created by a thought and action.
Absolutely.
So I would like to sum it up in that have a goal, pursue it with discipline, and check your behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Very well said and very well summed up as well. I think if we can follow even 70 to 80% of this advice, we will, go a long, long way in realizing our financial as well as life goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kalpesh and Prableen, thanks to both of you for joining in on this first show of the new financial year. Well, viewers, hopefully you found that conversation useful. Keep connecting with us. Send us more questions, topics that you want us to highlight, and we'll take it up in the coming weeks. Thank you for watching.
Let's talk money